Cool Theory presentation of Discovery Learning Model by Rosa Vestal. As the picture demonstrates, when using Discovery Learning Model, the educator is modeling and coaching as the student goes through the natural process of scaffolding past knowledge, exploring new knowledge, and reflecting, and the articulation of findings, and finally having a discovery at the end with a conclusive result. Discovery Learning Model was introduced by Jerome Bruner. Bruner was born in 1915 and has made some significant contributions to human cognitive psychology and cognitive learning theory in education psychology. He is currently a senior researcher at New York University School of Law. Bruner argues that practice in discovering for oneself teaches one to acquire information in a way that makes that information more readily viable in problem solving. Discovery learning bases itself on building on past experiences and knowledge, using their natural intuition, imagination, creativity, and search for new information. It is active learning by seeking for answers and solutions. Here are the 5 principles of the Discovery Learning Model. Christopher Pappas describes these principles as problem solving. Number 1. Instructors should guide and motivate learners to seek for solutions by combining existing and newly acquired information and simplifying knowledge. This way, learners are the driving force behind learning. They are taking an active role in establishing broader applications for skills through activities that encourage risk, problem solving, and probing. Number 2, learner management. Instructors should allow participants to work either alone or with others and learn at their own pace. This flexibility makes learning the exact opposite of a static sequencing of lessons and activities, relieves learners from unnecessary stress, and makes them feel they own learning. Number 3, integrating and connecting. Instructors should teach learners how to combine prior knowledge with new and encourage them to connect to the real world. Familiar scenarios become the basis of new information, encouraging learners to extend what they know and invent something new. Number 4, information analysis and interpretation. Discovery learning is a process-oriented and not content-oriented, and is based on the assumption that learning is not a mere set of facts. Learners, in fact, learn to analyze and interpret the acquired information rather than memorize the correct answer. And finally, and my favorite, failure and feedback. Learning doesn't only occur when we find the right answers. It also occurs through failure. Discovery learning does not focus on finding that right end result, but the new things we discover in the process. And it is the instructor's responsibility to provide feedback, since without it, learning is incomplete. The reason I chose Discovery Learning was because of the grade levels that I am currently teaching. I do not get to experience much of this learning theory in my current subject area of Spanish. However, I do see it being used daily with my colleagues in their classrooms, and it is quite fascinating to watch the world open up for those young minds. I've also had the experience to witness this theory being used in the education of my own children that are in upper grade levels, but still fascinating to experience the questions they ask and the conclusions they attain. One of the biggest events in our junior high is the science fair, and it is based on this particular theory. The students work on this platform for many months before they showcase their findings in a culminating activity that is judged by faculty in the annual science fair. Bruner expressed a belief that discovery learning would result in a shift from extrinsic to intrinsic motivation, and that what is learned will be more easily remembered. To the degree that one is able to approach learning as a task of discovering something rather than learning about it, there would be a tendency for the child to carry out this learning activities with the autonomy of self-reward, or more properly, by reward that is discovered itself. The very attitudes and activities that characterize figuring out or discovering things for oneself also seems to have the effect of making material more readily and accessible in memory. This application by nature is a perfect fit for subjects such as math, science, and social studies. However, it can be applied to most subjects with thoughtful preparation. The techniques utilized in discovery learning can vary, but the goal is always the same, and that is that the learners to reach the end result on their own. The discovery learning educational sessions would be well designed, highly experiential, and interactive. Instructors should use stories, games, visual aids, and other attention-grabbing techniques that will build curiosity and interest and lead learners in new ways of thinking, acting, and reflecting. The use of technology should support collaboration among classmates as well as promote alternate ways in which students can present their work and findings. One example of using technology is having students complete a web quest. A web quest is a computer-based teaching and learning model in which learners are actively involved in an activity or situation and use the internet as a resource. It is a unique method for enhancing students' information technology and information literacy competencies. As inquiry-oriented, engaging, and student-centered activities, webcasts promote high-level thinking and problem-solving skills. Webcasts can be completed individually or in groups. They are a valuable tool teachers can use to motivate students, promote higher-level thinking, and give students a different way to show competence. Thank you.